Journaling is the art of arranging our thoughts on a page. There's something special when this happens because we're taking a piece of our consciousness and we're turning it into a reality that we can revisit at a later time and place. And that's the reason that journaling has become such a hot topic in the personal development community. Everywhere you look, there's a new blog post, a new YouTube video on how to journal, why you should be journaling, how millionaires journal, how successful people journal every day. And I was really curious if this was true because I don't know about you, but I want to achieve clarity and focus. And this is pretty much what I saw when I read about journaling. But I didn't know if this was true or if it was just a bunch of YouTubers talking a big game, hoping that you would buy their journal that they had linked in the description. So what I did is I researched some journals and I ended up picking the Intention Journal by Brandon Turner. And it's linked down in the description below. Feel free to pick one up. Just kidding, you don't need to buy one. I really don't care. The point is that journaling gives us an ability to reflect on our day and correct our course. It reminds me a little bit of when I was in Cub Scouts. They would do this exercise with us to help us focus on long-term thinking and self-reflection, and they would line us up at one side of a field. We would pick a point on the other side of the field, and then we would either be blindfolded or we would look down at our feet, and we would walk across the field trying to get to that point we had originally picked. If you aren't blindfolded and you're not looking at your feet, and you pick a point and you walk at it, you'll get there. This is because our mind adjusts over time. And if you're not looking, you don't have that ability to self-correct. That takes us back to the magical saying, begin with the end in mind. You need to have the end in mind across the entire journey. If you don't, you're gonna get off track. And then one day in the far future, when you look up, you're not gonna have any clue where you are. But that brings us back to the question, if we want to begin with the end in mind, we have to ask ourselves, why are we journaling? So for me, using the Intention Journal, I want to live life more intentionally. Crazy, I know, but that's kind of how it works. Basically what this means is I'm gonna set 90-day goals and I'm going to try to achieve them. So my goals for the next 90 days are to do a wholesale in real estate, get my weight down under 200 pounds, and number 3 is to deepen my relationships. So I break up that 90-day period into weekly sessions. So at the beginning of each week, I have my weekly battle planning session. So where I recap the goal, the reason I want the goal, because our why is important, my biggest hurdle for overcoming it, and what I'm going to do to overcome that hurdle. Finally, I scheduled on my calendar. Scheduling it on your calendar is extremely important. When you say you're going to do something, you need to be the person that does it. So schedule your weekly objectives on your calendar. Next, I move on to habit tracking. This is a little bit less of what do you want to accomplish and a little bit more of who do you want to be. I use this time to focus on 3 or 4 lead habits. If you're not familiar with lead habits, then I suggest you watch my video I made about it. Basically, it's just the important habit, the lead habit, the first habit in a chain that sets you up for success with all the other habits that follow. And that leads me to the next point, which is that the sum is the whole of its parts. It sounds like a first grade math class, but it actually carries a lot of wisdom. If we want to look back on our life when we're old and gray and are telling stories to our grandkids, we need to have lived a good life. And to live a good life, if our life is just made up of the days that have preceded it, it means we need to have a lot of good days. Because of this, I plan pretty much every single day to the minute. And do I follow that? Not always. Maybe hits like 60 to 70% of the time because life happens, things come up, plans go awry. The main point of this is that if we want to do things, we're much more likely to do them if we schedule them. So if you want to go on more date nights, schedule more date nights. If you want to work out more, schedule your workouts. If you want to work on your side hustle, schedule time to work on your side hustle. One thing I will give you a pro tip on is to make sure that your scheduling breaks. I didn't do this when I started and I literally thought I was going to go crazy. So give yourself time throughout the day to recharge and to relax. So fast forward to the end of your perfectly planned day, whether it went perfectly to plan or everything went crazy, because now we get to recap. Like I said earlier with your self-correction as you're walking across the field, the recap is super important. Don't skip it because it matters just as much as the plan. This iterative feedback is how we learn. When you're a kid learning to walk, you fall a bunch and slowly you correct. This is the same with all areas of life. So if we want to have a better day tomorrow, we need to reflect on the day that we had today. The Intention Journal gives us a super clear way to do this. We get to answer why our day was awesome, what we struggled with, if we accomplished our most important thing, which hopefully you did, sometimes you don't. And then we get to make a note about what we're going to be doing different tomorrow. Take advantage of this And tomorrow, look at that. Remind yourself, what do I want to do differently? Finally, once a week, I use a brainstorming section of the notebook to really flesh out an idea I have or a goal that I want to achieve or a general thought. It's nice because you can see everything in front of you. It's something that I've really grown to enjoy over the past few months. And it's one of the reasons that I started a second book. I can't really say it enough. Journaling has taught me a lot. It improved my day. It helps me improve my relationships, get my goals in order. And it's something that I really think I'm going to continue to do for the long haul. And I would definitely encourage you to give journaling a try, whether it is this one or another one. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.